Okay, welcome to the video that I'm sure some of you have actually been waiting for a long time, and I guess I've been building up to it for a while. It's such a big topic to cover, so I have written a script. Definitely going to read this at times during this video, but I'm going to share my screen with you for this lesson. So I'm going to teach you about reading notes, about reading rhythm, some basic theory, but the goal is that it's just enough so that if you're watching one of my videos and there's the sheet music on the screen and you want to understand what's there, this is the video for you. But yeah, like if you've already been playing for a while, then imagine that situation where you're learning a new groove, learning it by ear, so you listen, repeat, and then there's that dreadful moment where you realize, like, how did it start again? What was that one beat, right? So, to use a little analogy, it's like you're a computer, right? And you've got a certain amount of RAM. And so, like, when you're just using your ears, there's a chance that you're gonna, lose little pieces of memory that you need to memorize that new groove or rhythm. But reading the notes, so using your eyes in conjunction with your ears, is giving you that extra RAM, I suppose, where even if your ears have forgotten a certain note, your eyes can pick it up again, and you're working together so that it fills in the gaps in your memory. So it's a very efficient way to learn, isn't it? Like, you can learn anything, I think, by ear if you repeat it enough, but that's not so efficient. It's going to cost a lot of time, and there are situations where you need to learn something quicker than that. And that's something that's always scared me. Just my whole life, I just haven't been the best reader of music. So I kind of wanted to make this video today and, take it in a very hands-on way, totally from the beginning, and in a way that I guess is different to how I learned, So, what are we looking at? We are looking at something called Groove Scribe. So, I'm a massive fan of Mike Johnston's work, his website, mikeslessons.com. It's all for drum set, but this tool, which is totally free and amazing for, like, the simplicity of it, and is for writing music. So actually, this is what you see in, just about all of my videos. So in this lower section here, we have notation, and you can see right now, we've got this one beat here, and then these little marks here are rests. Now the tempo is 60 beats per minute, so we're gonna hear one beat every second. So let's just listen to how this sounds, right? 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The most common question I always get is, how fast should I play? When I read this note, how fast is it? So that's what we're gonna address first in this video. So the situation here is 4 beats in a bar. I'm gonna fill these up right now. There we go. We are playing 4 quarter notes to make 1 bar of music. 3, 4. So imagine you're just hitting the bass on your cajon right now, like this. Okay. So, what if it's got to be faster? So let's add in every 8th note now. So as you can count, we've got 8 notes on the screen right here. And they are all 8th notes, as we call them. So let's listen to that now. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, yeah? So you can see that we're just filling up space, aren't we? Like the tempo is still 60 beats per minute. We're not playing faster, in a sense. We're just putting more notes into the same amount of time. Let's add some more. So now, as you can see, these notes are going in. Boom. So we have 16th notes. And this is what we're playing most of the time on the cajon. So let's listen again. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so maybe you've noticed every time we've added more notes, we've added more lines to the tail on them. So if you can follow my mouse here, see there are 2 lines above them. Let's take this first bar, and I'm going to come back from those 16th notes and come back to 8th notes, and here we go. Oh, that line's disappeared. Boom, that line's disappeared. So right away, you can see that there are 2 notes in the space of 1 beat, then 4 notes, 4 notes, 4 notes. So maybe you can imagine how this will sound. It's going to be slow and then fast. Let's listen. 4, 1 and 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's a little bit of information. Let's mess around with this some more, right? So of course, in one bar of music, the goal is to always fill up those 4 beats, yeah. But the way that we do it has a lot of variation, doesn't it? For example, if we look right here, just the 1 quarter note, yeah. But in terms of time, it is totally equal to this first beat. So let's listen again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what if we take this out completely? Boom. Do you remember this mark? This is a rest, and it's just there to tell us that there is nothing here. Now, if we didn't have this rest mark here, we might accidentally jump to beat 4 and kind of connect without leaving the space in the middle. That's pretty self-explanatory, I'm sorry. Let's listen to this. Rest. 1 and 2E and a 3, 4E and a. Okay, so now we're starting to mix what we call subdivisions, right? So a quarter note, yeah, is a division of a bar. It's a piece of a bar, isn't it? 8th notes are what we would say are a faster subdivision. And right now you can see that 2 8th notes take up the same amount of time as 1 quarter note. Yep. And 4 16th notes take up the space of 2 8th notes. So we're just doubling, yeah? We're doubling and halving all the time. So that's a good concept to keep in mind, that no matter what we change, we're always going to have 4 beats in this bar, and it's always going to equal the same thing. Whether we're hitting the drum or doing nothing, that time's always there. Speaking of that bar, 95% of the music that I play is in what we call 4/4 time. And just to confirm what that means, there are 4 quarter notes in a bar, right? So I'm going to get rid of these extra notes for a second, and we can see quite clearly there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of these quarter notes. Yeah, the notes without any lines on them, without any tails, I guess we could call it. But sometimes that's not always the case, isn't it, right? Like different styles of music have a different loop, right? Bar loop is another way we could describe that if you're unfamiliar with what a bar is, but a bar is a loop of some notes, right? So we've got a loop of 4 beats, but we can change that. What if we add one? What if it's 5? Okay. 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1. Yeah? We could add in an extra note here. It still sounds like a kind of a standard little loop, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. But, you know, it's just not so popular, is it? Because it's a bit harder for someone to dance to that. But nevertheless, it exists. But if someone says, like, this is in 5/4 time, all you need to know is that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarter notes, right? And the same rules apply. If this last quarter note is divided differently, and if this quarter note is divided differently, and, you know, this quarter note is divided, you know, a little bit differently again, still have this sound, right? Dum, 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 dum. Sounds like maybe a movie soundtrack or something, like maybe not Terminator, but, you know, some kind of epic scene maybe. It's a little bit, anyway. But you can see what's going on here, can't you? Okay, I'm going to take this out. We're going to cut back here. And we talked about changing the top number, yeah? So 5 quarter notes. And the thing that I think is always tough to explain is what happens when you change the bottom number, yeah? So the bottom number is going to become 8. 5/8 time? I don't think I've ever played this, but just so I can explain what that means is we're counting eighth notes now. So before we were counting quarter notes, yeah, times 5. But now we're counting eighth notes times 5. So the loop should come around twice as quick, shouldn't it? So we're counting eighth notes. Let's make this easy by ensuring that there are just eighth notes in the bar. There's an eighth note. How do we know it's an eighth note? It's got one line attached to it. It's got one tail. It's an eighth note. So maybe you can guess how this sounds. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's pretty much the simplest explanation of what those numbers mean. The thing called a time signature can be broken down in this way. Top number is the number that you count to. Bottom number is how fast you're counting, right? If it's 4, you're counting quarter notes, therefore you're counting slower. If it's 8, you're counting eighth notes, therefore you're counting faster. The bottom number, top number thing, you might ask, like, what's the difference between, let's say, if it was 5/4 or 5/8? Yeah, you could write the same music, but it depends on the length of the phrase, the length of the groove. Do you want your groove to all fit in 1 bar, or do you want it to fit in 2 bars? That's when you might decide which is better, but that's that covered. We're back in 4/4. We've only been playing bass notes so far, yeah? We've only been playing bass. So what should we learn here? Bass is down the bottom, yep. You can see right here, there's our bass. Here's our snare. I'm going to make that a little easier to read. Here's our snare. It's up the top, yep. So bass is down the bottom, snare is up the top. I think you'll know how this should sound, but just to confirm, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop. So it's all quarter notes. Let's start to make a bit of a groove. Now, I always use ghost notes, don't I? So we're going to put in ghost notes. So here we go. Ghost note. Ghost note. Actually, I'm going to do this a little bit faster. All snares off. All snares ghosts. Okay, now we've got something that looks probably a lot like what you've seen in my videos. Now, you can see that there are 2 lines here. So what's that? 16th notes, right? So we've got 16th notes all the way through. These guys with the little brackets around the outside, they're our ghost notes. So they're going to be played softer. And 60 beats per minute might be a little bit slow for us now. Let's come up to 90. There we go. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So talked a lot about subdivisions. Yeah. This is all 16th notes. Being all 16th notes, it's pretty easy to keep track of, isn't it? We know that every bar, we've got 16 notes to hit. The beginning of each group of 4 is our accents, isn't it? The bass, next group of 4, snare, next group of 4, bass, next group of 4, snare. But what happens if I take out some notes here? The last note here is a ghost, note before that is an accent, but they've changed from 16ths back to 8th notes. So it's going to feel a bit slower right at the end of the bar. Maybe for a little more effect, let's make this an accent at the end. Okay. So I think if this is difficult to see, right, this bit at the end, you've got to remember that, okay, why are there 3 groups of 4 and then just a group of 2 at the end? When you remember that, yep, this is half the speed as this, right? Like 4 of these fit into 2 of these. That's why that last beat of the bar feels a bit slower. We're just dividing it less, aren't we? We're dividing it in a different way. 16th notes down to 8th notes. Let's play with some more rhythms. How about we put another bass in here? So I'm going to change this ghost note to a bass note. So now we've got these little jumps up and down that you often see in my videos, right? Boom, ta, 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 boom, ta, ta. It's kind of a groove now, right? We've got something going on here. Da, dum, da, dum, da, da. Yeah, cool. Okay, so again, like we've got mostly 16th notes all the way through. The accents right now, beat 2 and beat 4 are where the places where we have those big snare accents. So how about we change this up into something that maybe I've done a little bit, but not so often. Have you heard the term halftime before? Halftime is it's a pretty groovy thing, to sort of put it in a weird way. But halftime, I'm gonna not play 2 snare accents in the bar, but just play 1 snare accent in the bar. And rather than going accent on 2, accent on 4, we're just going to put an accent on 3. So let's listen to that. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start to add some more things in. This is going to sound cool. Yep. So we can see that we're jumping down to bass, and then we got a little bit of interesting stuff at the end here. Can you see that the last 16th note here is a bass, and the first 16th note is also a bass note. So you're going to get that da-dum, right? That kind of feel. Let's listen. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Yeah, cool. Feel free to play these on your cajon as you watch this video. It's good practice. Again, it's all 16th notes right now. Let's change that up. How about we start on 8th notes, yeah? Starting on 8th notes. So you can see right here, 8th note, 8th note, 8th note, 8th note, it's got that one tail. 16th notes with the two tails. So let's listen to this. Oh, sounding good. I'm going to turn that up a little bit. Okay, cool. So that's how we start to build a groove. And let's talk about bars, right? We've been talking about one bar this whole time. What if it was 2 bars? What does that look like? Boom, 2 bars. You can see that here's the start of the music. Here we go, and it repeats. Yep. Yep, continues along there. So that kind of helps if you ever get lost at like reading the end of the bar and then snapping your eyes back to the front of the bar. Sometimes it's easier if you read it this way where there's 2 bars. Let's add some variation to the second bar. Why not put a snare here? There we go. It's gonna sound a little bit weird. Oh, real time this time. Boom. It's a little bit weird, isn't it? It's starting to get more complex of a groove. I should explain this. Look at this. This is like a little more complex to look at, isn't it, right? So you can see that it starts off with just the single tail, and then it turns into 2 tails right here. So let me just show you what happens if I take away this note here, right? You can see 2 8th notes, nice and simple, boom, bop, yeah? But add in the extra note at the end, the extra 16th, and it has to get the second tail there, right? Because these are connected so closely. But this space in here, right? Like, you know there's nothing there. So if you're looking at this and you forget like how to play it, because we don't always have a computer to play back the sound to us. That's why this is so easy right now. But when there's no audio feedback and you're just doing it yourself, it's much harder. But I listen to it like doom, rest, da, da. Yeah? Doom, rest, da, da. That rest is kind of connected to the first note, isn't it? So let's listen to that one more time. Okay. Cool. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about with 8ths, 16ths, talking about how fast to play certain notes. I think you can see now most of the stuff that you're going to see in my videos, right? You're going to see bass, you're going to see snare, you're going to see ghost notes, you're going to see a mix of subdivisions, and that's pretty much it for that stuff. This is all fitting into a grid, isn't it, right? Like, although what you see in the notation section is, you know, it's fairly minimalist, isn't it, right? Like, if there's no note to be played, it shows you nothing, right? But if you look at the top, if there's no note to be played, it still shows you the empty space. So what I mean is that this grid way of reading music is really helpful, I think, for getting at into your mind that you can add and subtract from this grid and still keep your place in the music. So this grid is it's totally fine for 16th notes. I believe I can even get 30-second notes in here, and I'm only going to show you this very briefly so we just don't have to worry about it too often on my channel. But 30-second notes, just so you know what that looks like. Here we go. It's just going to be all snare. Oh, look at that. You can see 3 lines there, right? So it's twice as many notes in the same space. Yeah. So these are called 30-second notes. We've got a bar of 4/4, so there are 4 quarter notes, and each one is a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 4 equals 32. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, probably don't want to listen to that much longer. But you can see that that's a grid, can't you? If I take some stuff out, let's take these guys out. We're going 30-second notes, 16th notes, 30-second notes. What are we going to do here? Something like that. 30 seconds, 16ths, 30 seconds, 8ths. And let's watch this mayhem. Cool. Okay, so I think I just hit myself in the nose. I think that your understanding of the length of each beat, length of each note that you need to play should be totally under control at this point. This grid has been nice to look at, hasn't it? All 16th notes, but you may have also seen some triplets in my videos, right? So we know that a triplet is going to be 3 notes, isn't it? 3 notes, isn't it? So let's change software right now. Groove Scribe, thank you so much, it's so good. But for something a little more complex, I'm going to switch over to Logic Pro. And here's one I prepared earlier. Here's one I prepared earlier, right? So you can see up top, it has to write a little 3 here so that we know what we're looking at, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Bass, ghost, ghost. Yeah, see the little brackets there? It's a little hard to read, but there are brackets right there. Let's listen to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let me show you the grid again. So in a like music editing application, that's normally called a piano roll. But here we go. We can see there's a grid, right? Beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. Each one is divided by 3. Let's look at that one more time. Yeah, cool. Now, there are triplets, another kind of subdivision. But I'm going to change this now, and again, the same rules apply where you can just double or half how many notes are going into each beat. I know this is a little overwhelming to look at, but up the top, I can have time signature 4/4, division 12. Yeah, 12 notes in 12. You know what I mean. Okay. Before we were looking at the Groove Scribe, we were seeing this. We were seeing 16, weren't we? So let's just show you what that looks like. Back here, and yeah. I know this is a lot of like reviewing stuff that maybe you already know, but I think it's helpful. 3, 4. 1. Very familiar, right? Look, we got those 2 lines at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Enough of that. Let's get into some more, a little wilder territory. So let's come up to 24, right? So, where's my bass drum? Bass drum. Here we go. Bass. Snare, 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 snare. So that's one beat with 6 notes in it. So you can call these, you can still call them triplets, or sextrets, I've also heard. But let's listen to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, over to the score. so you can see that we've got these two lines above, right? So we can in fact call these 16th note triplets. And what you saw before, when it was just one line on the triplet, you can call that 8th note triplets if you like. But that's just another way of dividing time. If I were to mix this up a little bit, let's say the first two bars are in those triplets, right? Those sextrets, those 16th note triplets. But I'm changing the grid. And then I'm gonna change that here. I know it looks a little funny right now, but go back to the score. Please show me the right thing. Yes. Okay, these programs are a little bit temperamental, but here we go. Feels a little bit weird, doesn't it? But 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I'm just going to put a rest in here just to see if that shows up in the score properly. Oh, that's a little bit nasty to look at, isn't it? I'll show you what it sounds like anyway. And like this grid is so helpful here. Like you can look at this, right? This last beat, you can see of the 4 16th notes that exist in this last beat, you can see we've just cut one out here. Go to the score, it's a little less easy to understand that that's what's happened. But again, imagine that there are 4 notes. You can see which one is missing, right? You can see that if this were to be 4 hits, it's the third hit that's missing, so you can still recognize that the sound is dun da da, yeah, dun da da, dun da rest da, yeah. Cool. Start making some more changes here. Let's take this one out. That's gonna sound terrible. What is this though, right? So like we've got something new here. Remember I showed you rests before? This is another kind of rest. This is telling us that it's only an 8th that is being rested for. Again, imagine, like using that grid idea, imagine that we do have all 4 notes here. 1, 2. These are 16th notes, so naturally there should be another 2. Oh, but they're missing. 2 16th notes is equal to an 8th note, isn't it? And so we've got that one little rest here. If I take this away and this away, what are we going to see at the end? A quarter note rest. Yeah. All of this is equal to this. Rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I just cut a little bit there because I wanted to make a bit of a test for you. I've created a groove here. It's 1 bar of music. It's got a mix between triplets and non-triplets, and a mix between all kinds of things. The ghost notes are still here with those little brackets, but see the totally solid dots, right? They're our snare accents. It's a little harder to read over here than it was in the last software, but let's have a listen to this. Here's just a little groove. Also, I brought the tempo up. We're up to 90 beats per minute now. Okay, so now the last stage of this video, I want to make as a bit of a test. And a test so that you can practice reading yourselves and just see if you've kind of understood everything. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to make another rhythm, make another groove, but I'm going to mute it, right? So you're going to see that, that playhead move across the notes, but you're not going to hear anything. And what I want you to do is imagine the sound that the bar of music would make in your head, and then I'm going to play it again unmuted, and then you'll be able to confirm that you imagined the right sound. So here we go with that. I'm going to start to make some changes. Let's unmute. Okay, new rhythm. Let's mute. This is a little bit difficult, this one. Let's unmute. Let's try another rhythm. We're back, plugged into power. Okay, so we've had a bit of time to listen to this one. Let's unmute it. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, unmute. Yeah, so as I said maybe earlier in this video, I was always pretty bad at reading sheet music. I was always someone who hated learning it, and that's because I was in books, and totally analog kind of system for learning where there's no feedback. I could read something in a book and I wasn't sure if I played it correctly. I think it's a hard path to learning. Obviously some other people are really good at it, and they've managed to like kind of get past that incredible learning curve. But yeah, I always hated learning that way. I just for whatever reason, my brain didn't work that well for reading music in books. So over the last like few years, I started using more of this like digital software where I can write the note, I can see it, I can see that playhead move over it, and I get the feedback. I know, like, yeah, that's what I meant to write. That's what I meant to play. So this kind of reverse engineered way of teaching, I thought would be really interesting. So let me know like if this worked for you, because I think maybe when I was just starting out learning drums and percussion, if I had learnt this way, maybe it would have been a bit different. At least I felt a big difference. So, if you want to practice this more, I recommend trying out that one time muted, one time unmuted technique, you can go to that Groove Scribe website that I mentioned before. You can do exactly the same thing right there and test yourself. Write a rhythm, listen to it muted, watch it muted, imagine the sound, play it back. Did you get it right? Yes or no? You'll be able to track your progress that way as well. So if you knew nothing about any of this stuff before watching this video, I do hope I got you to a level where most of the videos on my channel become something that you can watch and understand, learn a lot quicker because you're not relying just on your ears, but relying on your eyes and ears working together. I went through all of my videos. I made a playlist of all the videos that have the sheet music on the screen. So I'm going to link that here. So please, if you've just gotten through this video, go to that playlist next, see how you go. It's ordered by whatever was uploaded most recently, not by difficulty, so you might want to jump around to find something of the right level for you. And yeah, if you kind of already had a bit of a handle on this stuff, but there were some videos on my channel where you could understand it from a listening point of view, but couldn't understand it from a reading point of view, go and check out one of those videos now. One of the ones that maybe was bugging you, that you could, you could learn the groove, but you couldn't read it at the same time. Go check out one of those videos now, if that's the level that you've managed to get to. And yeah, for everyone else, I hope you found at least some of this video a little bit insightful. And if anything, like I think if you didn't know about that Groove Scribe website, that's such a good free tool. Definitely get on there, start writing some rhythms, and there's maybe no easier way to share a rhythm with someone right now. Like, it takes 5 seconds to punch in a rhythm, and there's literally a share button. Just give the link to someone. Yeah, if anything, check that out. That's so cool. I can't thank Mike Johnson enough for that. It's like the most valuable thing I think he's ever made, at least for me, as another kind of YouTuber trying to, share rhythms around the world. Mike, if you watch this, man, that was so good. Thank you for making that. Guys, I've made it to the end of this video, I think. Gone through the script. It's going to be maybe the longest lesson you've ever seen on my channel, but I hope you did enjoy it. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Leave some comments down below, let me know what you thought. And if I missed anything, please let me know, because I can do follow-up videos, maybe even do a live stream just answering questions if that's what's needed. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day, night, morning, whatever. I'll see you guys on the next video. Happy Cajon drumming. I'll see you later. Bye.